Hello everyone, Amod here from the Target Common YouTube channel. In this video tutorial, we will learn about Fluent Wait in Selenium WebDriver. Many Selenium WebDriver professionals categorize waiting strategies in three types: implicit wait, explicit wait, and fluent wait, which is not correct. We have only two waiting strategies in Selenium: implicit wait and explicit wait. Implicit wait is for waiting for a web element if not available immediately, and explicit wait is to wait for any condition or conditions. We can create our own logic to wait explicitly or use Selenium provided class like WebDriver wait. I have already covered a lot about WebDriver wait class in my previous videos. So now let's see from where this fluent wait is coming. Generally, we create an object of this class to achieve explicit wait, and this class extends another class fluent wait. If you go to this fluent wait class, you can see it is a generic class which is implementing another interface wait. If you go inside this wait interface, you will find this is one generic interface which has one method until. I have explained this hierarchy already in my previous video. So basically on the top we have one generic interface which is implemented by Fluent Wait, and here it is not passing any type. I hope you have basic understanding of generics in Java. So basically whatever type you will pass while creating an object of this class, wherever we have t, it will be replaced with the type. If you pass Fluent Wait of a string, then the type of this variable will be string. So this WebDriver wait is extending Fluent Wait and passing the WebDriver. That means wherever we have t, it will be replaced with the WebDriver. And inside this Fluent Wait, we have the implementation of this until method. And Fluent Wait has multiple methods like with timeout, with message, polling every, and etc. That means you can set the timeout, you can change the message, or you can ignore some exceptions, or you can set the polling interval. So when WebDriver wait extends this fluent wait, then automatically all those methods will be present in WebDriver wait also. WebDriver wait is the customized class where we can wait for the condition with the WebDriver involvement, because here we are passing the WebDriver type. That's why if you want to wait for the title to be some specific thing, or if you want to wait for presence of any web element, in all these conditions WebDriver is required. So here I have one web page whose title will be changed to completed after some time. If I reload this web page, you can see initial title is loading, then it will become loaded, then final status will be completed. So I want to wait till the title is changed to completed. Let's try to implement both WebDriver wait and Fluent wait to achieve the same thing. Here I'm already loading the required HTML page, which you can find in my GitHub repo. So let's create an object of WebDriver wait first. So WebDriver wait equal to new WebDriver wait. And here I need to pass the driver instance and the timeout. So let me pass Chrome driver, comma, duration of seconds. Let's wait for 15 seconds. And we have a method until, which is coming from wait interface. And here I can use expected conditions dot title is. Let me pass completed. I have already covered everything in my previous videos. I will suggest you to go and watch if you haven't. And I will print the title, Chrome driver dot get title. Let me quickly run and see. So basically it waited till the title is completed and it printed the current title. I can add driver.quit also after printing the title. Now let's try to achieve the same thing with the fluent wait. I will comment these two lines, and this time I am going to create an object of fluent wait class. So fluent wait, since this is a generic class, obviously I need to pass the type, which was not required for the WebDriver wait, because that is a specialization of Fluent Wait which uses WebDriver instance. But here I need to pass explicitly. So let me pass Chrome driver, give the object name, then new Fluent Wait, and pass the reference which is my Chrome driver. Since here we are passing the Chrome driver type, I need to pass the same reference. If you pass a string, then you need to pass the string here. Then I can call Fluent Wait dot until method, and here you can write your own condition, or you can use ready-made conditions from expected conditions class. So let me use expected conditions dot title is and pass the expected title which is completed. Let me run this program and see. So you can see title is completed, but browser is not closed. And if you see the console, we see the exception. It says that expected condition failed, waiting for title to be completed, but current title is loading. Why it is happening? Since when you create an object of WebDriver wait class, we are passing the timeout, which is 15 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever you want to provide. But when you create an object of Fluent Wait, we don't have any way to pass the timeout. That's why explicitly we need to call Fluent Wait dot with timeout and pass the duration dot of seconds or 15 or whatever you want to pass. Now it will wait for maximum 15 seconds with the default polling interval which is 500 milliseconds. You can call the methods to change that as well. Same thing whatever we did for the WebDriver wait. If I run the program now, it will work perfectly fine. So this time browser was closed and we can see it has printed the completed title. So now you might be thinking, what should we use? WebDriver wait or Fluent wait? So as per my understanding, if you want to wait for any condition where WebDriver is involved, like waiting for title or waiting for presence of any web element in your scenarios, then you can use WebDriver wait class. But if you have some waiting conditions where WebDriver is not involved, then we can go for Fluent wait because Fluent wait is a generic class. You can pass any type. So let's think of one scenario. I have a web page and after performing some action on that, in the backend it will call some API and it will perform some actions. I have some way or I have some API which I can call to get the status. So basically I need to call the API and check for the response, and if the response contains any specific thing then I am done. I need to go for the next step. So in this scenario, you are not involving WebDriver anywhere. You are not going to perform any action on the web page for the waiting condition. Let's see with the example. Here I have one API get tool name which is a get call. If I click on send button, it is going to return me a tool name. Every time it will return you some different name. So I have some fixed tools name and from where it is returning the tool name randomly. So I'm going to hit this API and see if the response or the tool name is Selenium. I need to go for the next step. Let's use FluentWait for this scenario. I have created a class API calls and here I will add a method public response which is coming from recessive and get tool name. But before that, I want to show you that in the pom.xml, I have added the dependency of recessive, which will help me to hit the REST APIs. So let's come back to API calls. I will do recessive dot maybe use logger also. So given dot log dot all, then call the get method, and I'm going to pass this endpoint and I will return the response. Let me print the log also. So then dot log dot all then extract dot response. I'm going to comment all these lines. So let's create fluent wait object, and here I'm going to pass another type, right? So I have created one class where I have this get toolname API call. So basically I need to call the method from this class. So I'm going to create an object of FluentWait with the type API class. Sorry, API calls class, and give the object name equal to new FluentWait, and here I need to pass the same reference. So here I will simply create an object of API calls class. So API calls equal to new API calls, and let me pass this reference with the FluentWait constructor. Now let's call FluentWait dot with timeout. Maybe I can pass 30 seconds. Then FluentWait dot until I need to call the method from API calls class. So use the lambda expression here, and maybe I can use API calls one. Let me use curly braces and API calls one dot get tool name, and let me apply JSON path dot get string. So we have very simple response body with only one key, which is tool. So let me copy this key, pass it here. If it is equal, ignore case selenium. If this condition is true, then I will not wait further. So I'm going to use return here, and let's use one sysort also. And I will simply print a line, and I need to pass the semicolon at the end. So basically here I'm waiting for this API to return me Selenium as a tool. I'm going to run this program and see what happens. Let's go to console. In the console, we see the title is printed loaded. That's fine. But if you go up, you can see it printed the line because it went inside this until method, and then it is calling the get tool name API. It printed everything, and we got the JMeter. So it is going to try again. So it printed the line again, and then it called the API, and this time we got playwright. So again it is going to try, and this time we received Selenium. So my condition was satisfied, and it went for the next time. So the summary is, if your waiting condition requires WebDriver, then you can use WebDriver wait class. But if the condition does not require any involvement of WebDriver, it requires any different type, then you can use Fluent Wait. So that's all in this video. If you really like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with others. Thank you everyone.